Hi, I'm Saxon Hutchinson, Director at Kite Shield Interactive and lead designer on our new game, Moon Corp Tower Defense. GameFest allows us to show you a deep dive of Moon Corp and an opportunity to see the behind the scenes in game development. The game takes place in the not too distant future, with humanity entering an industrial space age. Technology has enabled the spread of civilization, with cities on the moon now becoming a popular location for tourism and business. This golden age of space expansion is soon halted when the dramatic incursion of the alien Zelpha organisms wreak destruction across the solar system. Moon Corp places you in control of operating your own tower defense company. Over the course of the game, you will accept defense contracts, investigate the origins of the Zelpha species, customize turrets, hire employees to conduct research, and access experimental weapons to call down destruction on the alien threat. So welcome everyone to the second part of the video. I'm Saxon, I'm one of the directors of Kite Shield and I'll be doing the programming for this section. We're joined with Blaine Kuzner, who's our game designer.
Hi.
We've got Dan Poole, he's our composer and sound designer.
Hello.
And we've got Xavier Poole, so he does our marketing.
Hello.
So, we're going to jump into some game development. For Moon Corp Tower Defense, we're using Unreal Engine 4. This is the game engine we use for a lot of our different projects. And we'll be looking at adding to some more interaction to this level that we've got here, which is our air filtration level. The idea for this map is that aliens have broken into this facility and it supplies all of the oxygen for the moon colony on the moon, and it's the player's job to come in and remove all the aliens from here. We're going to add some extra functionality that the player can access. So we're thinking of having one of these fans spin up either periodically or activated by the player to then remove all of the aliens on the field. So yeah, we're going to try and get that working today.
I'm so excited to see it. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Did we want to show them how it looks at the moment?
Absolutely. So we'll dive in straight into the game.
Final. Well, not final. Yeah.
So we've got the player's drone launching, and then they move into combat mode. So at the moment, we've just got pretty static level. We've got some of Dan's sound effects and music in the background, and we've got the aliens slowly advancing over here. So we'll be able to place a few of the turrets down, and they'll start engaging the aliens. So hopefully we'll see if we can make this a bit more interactive with these elements. What we've got at the moment is the mock-up level, which has been designed by Blaine. Do you want to quickly run through what's in here so far, Blaine?
Yeah, so I sort of built this level based on a similar level, the hydroponics level. So very similar layout. Aliens go right to left and have a little bit of foreground where they can move along from right to left. And then the background is where I put most of the fans. And then we've got a fan that is above where the aliens move. And that is what we're trying to add some interaction to and plausibly suck the aliens up.
So I've got to try make that work functionally today. Dan, what kind of audio are you thinking for this?
Well, I'm thinking that they're obviously going to be rotating. So there's going to be some sort of ambient audio that I'm going to add on each fan. So when you get closer to them, you should be able to hear them louder, as you would in real life. But then also I want to develop a vortex kind of where the aliens get sucked up into the fan, and maybe like a shredding sound. I don't know. Like we haven't really talked about it, so I'm really excited to try see what happens with it.
Yeah, that
So,
sounds good. So I
we'll
guess we'll
chat
have
about it
like
and figure it out.
I guess we'll have like a idle or like ambient state with like the fans, and then yeah, as you said, they'll get activated. We'll have like the vortex sound. All the aliens should fly up, and then yeah, a shredding sound when
Yeah.
they get cut up by the fan. So yeah.
Yeah. So I might morph like a paper shredder or something. We'll see what we can find.
And Zave, you're doing our marketing to basically like devlog some of this, maybe get some screenshots. What are you wanting from us?
Yeah, so I think once you've got the mechanic implemented, it'd be really cool to see the aliens like mid-air flying up, and I don't know if you can have some kind of particle effect of them being shredded.
Yep.
But yeah, having some kind of mid-motion screenshot would be cool, and we can post that up on Twitter, people to check out, and then we'll be like, oh shit, look at that. And that'll be fun. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Cool. Let's get started then, guys.
Yeah.
So the way that the fans and the systems have been built so far in this is just using our existing assets. So hopefully we'll be able to go through later with our artists and possibly redo some of the assets. So what we've got here is what we love to call kit bashing, which is where we get an existing kit of items which we've got in the game. So in here I can type in fan, and then we get everything in the engine that currently has fans in it. So we've got a standard ceiling fan that we've used in different areas throughout like office buildings and stuff, and then we've put two of them together and then just made it absolutely ginormous to get this effect, which
I
is
didn't
kit
even
bashing.
realize was the case until today. I was like, this looks so cool.
It does.
Yeah, and I mean, if you change the color, it looks so good.
So I'll try putting, so this is like a static object, so this doesn't move, it can be placed in the level. I'll be trying to turn this into a programmed spinning object. So to do that, we'll just go into our file structure, so kite shield, and we're going to create a blueprint. So we're just going to go into our blueprints folder. In here we're going to create a new blueprint, which is an actor, so that's just any kind of object that's in a level. We're going to call it spinning fan. So this is just an empty blueprint, there's nothing in here at the moment. I'm going to recreate that static fan, so the one that's not moving. So we'll add a mesh, static mesh, and we'll go call it fan1, and then we'll chuck in one of these fans. So we've got some with 3 blades, some with 4 blades. Let's see what Blaine's used in the level. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's used the 4 blade one. So we'll pick one of the fans with a 4 blade. There we go. That's in. Now we'll duplicate it. Now it's automatically called itself fan2. And then we'll rotate it doop, 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 to 45 degrees. So now we've got that same fan design. And now we'll just check where this pivot is. So this is the location where the object will spin at, and it's right where it should be, which is at the top and in the center. So in here, if we get this and then we rotate it, it'll start spinning. So this is what we'll try to program into this blueprint. So in our event graph, this is the programming section of a blueprint. So we've got the physical 3D, and then we've got all of the programming that sits behind it. So we'll get a reference to each of our fans. Now rather than doing one for each of these fans, we'll see if we can put them on one body and then spin the whole thing around. Or we might just put one on top of the other. So if I get this one at the moment, it's just one fan, so if we spin it, only one of them will move. So we'll try putting the second fan on top of the first. So now when we get the first fan, they spin together. Cool. So now we don't need fan 2, we just need fan 1. And the great thing about blueprints is that you just type in what you want. So we want rotation. Now I think we want a local rotation. And there's adds and sets. So set means make it this exact position, or add just automatically gets the current and then adds more rotation. So I think we want to add local rotation. And we want it to happen probably with a timeline, so to keep it playing continuously. So we'll type in timeline, and this basically gives us a graph where we can keep adding something. So with the rotation we've got the X, Y and Z coordinates. I'm just going to right click and hit split, so this gives us the roll, the pitch and the yaw, so each of the individual components. And then in this timeline we're going to add a track that will make it do one full rotation. So we're going to start at 0 seconds, the value of 0 for rotation, and then we want to end up, let's say 5 seconds. We want it to have a rotation of 360, spin right around.
Yeah, I was going to ask about how quickly the fan will rotate, just so I can maybe like time the fan whooshes to it. So you reckon in about seconds per full rotation?
Yeah, so we'll try go with one rotation. It's hard to say because we have to look at the scale. We'll have to look at like the scale of the level. So we'll try with 5 seconds. We'll see if it looks good, and then once it's looking good, I think you'll be able to find like the right kind of sound for it, because I don't know how fast it's going to be spinning.
Yeah, no, neither. Yeah, it's just interesting to see. Yeah, it's cool to see the other end of it, because I'm usually just on the once the level's pretty much done, they go, "Hey, Dan, here's the level. Can you make it sound like it looks?" So this is cool to actually see things in development going from static to kinetic kind of level. Sweet.
For the rotation, we have to tell which part of it to rotate to get it to rotate correctly. And this is the hilarious part of game development, where you could go in and look at all the angles, but that's no fun. So we're just going to randomly click pitch, and then we'll see how that goes, and we'll see what spins. And we'll go play from start, and we want this to loop. So now, if we go back into our map, we've got our spinning fan blueprint. Now it's still going to be small at this stage, but we'll just test it out. And when we hit play, I'm just going to hit simulate here, and we're going to see what happens. So this is probably the wrong axis.
That's fantastic.
So the one that I actually think it is Z, or your axis. So I'm just going to change it to that. And now I think this will work. I don't know, but I think it will. There we go. So now that's spinning, but we've also got something interesting happening, which is okay. So at the moment it's going not very fast, and then it's spinning up really fast and then slowing down and stopping again. So I've made an assumption with this timeline where this is actually adding it every second, and the amount that we're adding is actually getting more and more and more. So what this should actually be is, instead of doing one rotation and looping it, this should be how much is it rotating. So in this case we can just set the time and the value to how much do we want it to be? So this will be the speed value then. So let's try a value of 20 and a value of 20. So it'll just be constantly spinning. So add 20 to it every time instead of exponentially going from 0 to 360. So let's try that. That's looking alright. It's looking like it's going maybe a little fast.
It's doing that cool optical effect.
Yeah, forwards, forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
That tires doing.
So in the background it'll look something like that. So maybe that's spinning... Yeah, that's... Well, it's spinning so fast I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, maybe it's like it's either spinning really fast or it's like glitching hard.
So let's change that value to 1, because maybe 20 is just way too much. And let's try that again. There we go. So now we can actually see it spinning.
That's cool.
Cool. It seems to get a little bit slower sometimes.
Needs some oil.
It does need some oil, doesn't it? Actually, you know what? We could fix this, but let's just not. Dan, make it so when it's going slowly, it just squeaks.
Just squeak. Yeah, and then there's an apply oil button.
See, when it does that, like, slows down. So
Yeah.
we can put in some little, like, squeaky noises and stuff. So it adds, you know, rather than fixing it, let's just add character instead.
Yes.
So if that's going to be our slow state, I'm just going to comment all of this and say this is slow spin. So now we want it when it's going to chop up all the aliens. So in here, let's call this one fast spin. And let's change that amount. Oh, we might need a new timeline though. That's timeline 0 and timeline 1.
So, Blaine, how long did it actually take you to build the level? From kind of start to finish. I know you mentioned it was similar to the hydroponics level, but yeah, what was the
wouldn't it be
time frame?
more than a day?
Yeah, right. Cool. That's pretty quick. It's really quick. It's awesome.
So we're going to try up the speed to 7. So we've got our slow one, we've got our fast one. I'm just going to switch it to the fast one for a minute. Let's see if this looks too fast.
Maybe that could be the shredding speed.
I think so.
It does look like it has a little resistance.
Yeah,
So-
it still seems to be stopping every so often. So we might
Is
need
that
to...
when the
If-
loop restart?
Yeah, we might need to... seems to get to the end of the loop and then pause for a second.
If that's when aliens are getting sucked up, that would make sense though. Like,
That's true.
they're getting jammed in.
Trying to cram pasta down the sink. Yeah.
We should probably put this into an event to see if we can get that fast speed happening when we're going to suck up some aliens.
I might have added a trigger box.
Yes, so this should be this highlighted box in gold that I've got here. So if I just click on that again, and this one is called trigger volume. So in our level blueprint, so this is a slightly different one, we can call what's in the level. So we can call this trigger volume, and we should be able to make it activate when some aliens come past. So we might see if we can add that trigger volume into our spinning fan. So in here, let's see if we can add another component. So we'll want, if it's not a trigger, it might be a collision. Here we go. So let's try using a capsule collision, because that is around like the fan. And then we'll change some of its height. Oop, that might be a bit too big. So that's 6,000. Let's try 2,000. And maybe 150 width. That'll definitely hit everything in the level. Let's try 1000. There we go. So let's go with that, and we should probably start putting these in the level so we can see how they're all affecting everything. So we've got some grouped objects up here, and the same in the background. I'm going to need to get them all spinning.
Yeah.
So these are these assets. We'll have to go and put these back in. So we're just going to go remove. Actually, let's line them up first. That'll make it even easier. So let's put spinning fan in here. Rotate it to the right angle. Let's make it
Size,
the
I
right
think
size.
10.
10?
I think so.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. And then we can just...
Could probably even ungroup it and grab the legit numbers. That works.
This should be good. Now we'll just remove that one. Oh. It's gone a bit thinner. Why has that happened? Oh no, that's because I
It's
put it...
inside it a bit.
I put it halfway through. There we go. So now, when we play the game... Ay, it spins!
Yay! So
now
good.
we can delete that one. We can duplicate this one. Put it in there. Yeah! Now they start spinning. Ooh, okay. So we've been messaging our artist in the background as well, and it turns out that he has been making a new fan for us. So we might even be able to put that later in if we pull some new content. So we'll have a look at doing that, possibly a bit closer to the end. Let's chuck in another spinning fan. This one will need to be completely flipped. 180. Let's try maybe
4.8.
5. Oh, there we go. Oh,
So it doesn't touch the sides. You have to move it to the left a bit.
yeah. There we go. That's spinning.
Yes.
Now we can delete these ones. Copy paste. Oops, I deleted the whole thing. Back, back, back. Control Z, Control Z. Ah, okay. So this one wasn't grouped, and this one was grouped. So having a look around, are these all the same object? They are. So they've all got this bit of pipe that we're putting around them. So I might see if I can put that in the blueprint, because then they'll all be the same. So let's try and see what this is. So this looks like the original. So this is, we'll just see on the right hand side of my screen here, SM Prop Spacewalk Tube. So let's go back into here, and this means instead of just applying the fan, we can have that bit of tube as well. So let's add a static mesh. We'll call it tube.
Tube. Very says.
And it was called Space Tube. Does it come up? There it is. Spacewalk Tube. Whoop! It's huge. So now this is important. We want to keep this in the right place because we don't want it spinning along with the fan. But hopefully we should just be able to do that. A bit closer. And this is a little bit bigger, so let's make this like 0.8. There we go. Now, if we apply that, all of our levels are now going to have duplicates. So, delete that duplicate around that one. And then these ones, we can now completely remove them. And now we can copy and paste the whole thing with the tube. You can see, looking back at Blaine's level design, he's got them all rotated differently as well. So here you can see this one's coming out, this one's behind, and then this one again has like a different part of the wall. So I have to make sure I recreate that. So I'll just redo, put this one back in, but now I'm going to rotate it. So this just gives us some variety in our level to make sure that not everything just looks copy and pasted. Make it look like they're all different versions, different models. Let's see if I've stuffed anything up. Let's hit play. Cool. Everything seems to be spinning and turning. Now there'll be some duplicates back here possibly. So is that the extra tube? No, that's the real one. Oh, how far did I place it in? Is that the tube? There we go. There's an extra tube. So we'll get rid of that. That's the real one. Or is this a different tube? Maybe it's slightly different. Is there a top and a bottom side? Ah, it looks like it's been rotated. Or maybe it's just the applied lighting, but that is the extra one. Play. There we go. It's just the lighting looking a bit funny. Cool, so now we've got some spinning fans. Now, from the player's perspective, so we've just been using the simulate mode. This lets us check what everything looks like when it's just running, but not technically playing. So now I'm going to hit play, and now it's as if the player has started a new level. Player's drone go up. Oop, looks like we've still got some leftover fan bits. So from this perspective, looks like we've still got 3 more fans to change. We've got these ones on the side.
The ones up the top.
Yeah, and we've got ones at the top. So to see the top ones, the player's going to have to look up to even see that they're up there. And these ones are in direct view. So possibly, I definitely like the idea of having the aliens being sucked up, but we may have to suck them sideways because the player can't quite see the fan from here. So we can try suck them sideways, or maybe we can try bring this whole fan down, because it is already in a tube, so maybe we'll make that more visible instead. So we'll just swap right back into the editor. Now this is the whole system. Did we make that one spin yet? I've already forgotten.
No.
Check again with
I think
simulate.
that's still the original fan.
Simulate. Yeah, it's not spinning. Okay. So
Could I don't know, maybe you could have a combination of the fans. So you could even have a fan blow the aliens up into the back fans.
Yeah, we could chuck like a grate over it as well, because that'll make it look more interesting.
First thought when building this level was to have one on the ground blowing up or sucking them in. But the issue was it would probably stop any of the aliens getting there, and we want the aliens to be able to get to the exit.
So how big is this mesh? This is actually pretty big up here. So let's remove this old one. Let's move this one back in. And we'll remove the old trigger volume. It's referenced. I'll just go back in and remove that reference. Cool. Now, at the moment, I think this is a bit too big.
Yeah.
So, we can't quite see the
Potentially
fan.
grab the tube mesh and shrink it
What if we
maybe?
put it on like a slight angle? Because that way, yeah, see that way the player can see it, because their camera's at about this angle. And let's make it a little bit smaller, maybe 1/8 the size. We'll try and make sure that this, that the mesh, sorry not the mesh, that the collider that we want to suck them up with is in the same area. Let's see how that goes. Let's check I'm in the right mode.
That's luminous, yeah.
That's definitely visible.
I can imagine alien chunks.
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. How gory it will be. Green little chunks of alien, or will they just be completely sucked all the way up?
We'll have to, leave that to our artists. I think for this one, at the moment, without making like the extra art assets, they could probably just get sucked straight in like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
Actually, with
So
that,
I could make the sound effect for that too.
yeah, like that's a sound effect you may be able to just find for it as well.
I just thought as well it should be hilarious getting like a circular saw kind of sound, like a ring. Oh, that'd be fun. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Fantastic.
Look in my sound library, see what I can find.
So, with that in mind, so we've been using the fast speed setting at the moment. So, I'll put it back to slow, and I'm going to have to make an event that happens that'll make it fast and to trigger Dan's faster audio. And if we're going to have like a vacuum sound effect, when it sucks one of them up, we're going to have to play a sound for that as well. So,
Found the perfect saw.
yeah.
Sound. It even has a spool up sound in it, so that you can hear it spinning up.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, that's really great.
Have you got a download of that? Do you want to chuck a copy of it over?
Yeah, I'll pop it in the chat for you.
Awesome.
Where we in the audio as well?
Yeah, just chuck it in audio. I'll find it.
If it's sucking the alien R, potentially could we make it spin in another direction when we press the suck button?
Like, make it spin back round, you think?
Like, yeah, because that's how that would work, I think.
Because we'll see if we can...
If we can even notice the direction.
I'll try and make an event here. So we've got them spinning normally. We want to set an event, so a custom event. Let's call it spin faster. So with our spin faster, we want it to apply the faster speed. Spin faster. And we want it to stop the old speed and start the new speed. Play from start. So let's see if we can just call it straight in our map. So let's go, I'm just going to randomly hit the, let's use the K key. I'll have to look for all the keys on the keyboard. Here we go. I did type the K key, there it is. So when we press the K key, let's get all of our fans in the map. So we're using, well technically we just want one, we just want this big one. So this is spinning fan 7. So let's get a reference to that, and we want to call this spin faster here. So if this, I'll just type in spin faster, there it is. So when I press the K key on the keyboard, hopefully this is going to spin faster. go, so they're all spinning nice and slow. Now I'm going to hit the K key. 3, 2, 1.
Yay.
Zoom!
For face.
That's really satisfying.
Yeah, we won't need reverse if it looks like that.
So, that'll make it spin faster. And then we want all of the magical things to happen. So we've got this box. Let's try and... What options do we have with this? On component begin overlap. I think there's a thing that I can do. So I'm going to get the capsule, and we want to get overlapping actors. So this will say what is currently in the capsule. Now we want aliens, so we want to say for everything that's in there, because it's just going to get everything at this point. For each one of them, cast to Zub main. So this is the node for our aliens. So we want to say, are you an alien? If you are an alien, now this may take a few goes to get working right, but I'm pretty sure there's a gravity setting. So let's see if we can get gravity Z character movement, set enable gravity. We might be able to change the gravity to -0 or -1 and make it fly up instead. Set enable, set enable. The other option, if I can't get that to work, is my favourite blueprint of all. It's called launch.
Launch character?
Yeah, this looks like it'll work. Then we just
sweet.
put in like a whole bunch of zeros.
I'll just disappear.
This is the problem. If you put in too little, like it barely even jumps. There's I forget how many zeros we need, so we'll have to see how this works. But let's go spin faster. We'll make it spin faster. Then we're just gonna launch everything in there. So let's see if this launches some aliens.
Excited.
So it should happen right in this area here. Some aliens coming.
Could even put a sign in there on the floor being no standing.
No standing.
Or no stopping.
So this one's in. I'm gonna hit the K button. Let's see what happens. Ooh!
Yay!
So if I keep pressing it, it keeps on making them fly up. Boop, 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 boop.
That's great.
So how many times do I have to press it to get them that high? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. So
like
4
400?
times, yeah, should make them go that high and suck up into the fan. That's good.
What might be cool is if it does do a little bit of
Oh, they like get kind of
like
up
it
and
sucks
down.
up a little bit and then a big one.
So
Oh yeah, once it gets closer to the high suction area, just whoop, straight up.
So that was 1,000.
Oh,
So
1,000, so 4,000.
So 4,000 or 5,000. Let's just go 5,000. That'll do it in one shot for sure. Let's quickly test it again with 5,000. Speed the game up a bit. Cool. Let's try this.
That's so satisfying.
We don't want them landing out of bounds. We may have to do that. Hopefully they go correctly, but that's
Did you
pretty
make like
fun.
an invisible tube that
Could chuck a
Probably, yeah.
kill
Stop them
thing,
from
right?
flying out. Yeah, so the next part is getting
No,
that
no.
kill area to
So it
make
won't
them actually
matter if they
disappear.
fall back.
So cool.
Fantastic. So let's try put in that next volume. Ah, and Dan, you've got the new audio.
Yeah, or just a little bit. I'm working on the destruction of the aliens sound.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. But I've got some spinning fan sounds that I'll send you in a quick minute. I've just got to find where I saved them.
So I've got the circular saw cut finer.
I'm editing that as we speak to make it a bit more epic. But yeah, that's what I'm working with. So.
Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to put that in soon. Let's chuck in the kill box. So for that, I think we're going to need a square collision volume. So let's go collision box. Can be this square here. We'll increase the size of it to, that's looking about right. So let's go 500 by 500. Because that'll definitely get everything in that cone. And then the event that we want is on, let's go on component begin overlap. Here we go. So this will say when something hits this box, what do you want us to do? So we want you to get the actor and then delete it. So we want to get the actor. You want to say, do you probably want to get the name of it. So let's go get the display name. Does the name contain the word? So the I guess the development term that we have for our aliens is Zub, although in the story they're actually called the Zelfa, but we're going to see if it contains the word Zub for our alien. If it does, we want you to just destroy it.
Destroy it! Isildur!
Hey, let's see if this works. Okay, so now we've got some aliens. Let's see if this works. Go!
They're gone!
They're gone!
With like alien abduction aliens.
Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Zoom! They just
That's cool.
disappear.
If we get Rob, pop in the cool
I
effect.
love how they disappear before they even touch the fan.
So that's something that we're going to need to change a bit. So
Sweet.
we should be able to, we're going to need like a custom particle or something for when they actually hit that fan, but let's put in something placeholder. So let's
Probably
say,
spawn some debris
yeah, I think so. Let's
or
see.
the dead subs.
Let's see what oh, we couldn't we? Because there's,
That's where it all came from.
yeah, okay.
There are bits.
Let's see if we can create a thing for that. Let's start with the particle. So let's go add a particle system. It might have to be something a little boring for now, like smoke or something, but in the final game, hopefully it should be a lot better. Exhaust. Ooh, so like a big thing of like steam can like shoot out when they get shredded. might be a bit too much. What else do we have? Explosion. Oh, we'll just have to let that render in. There we go.
Yeah.
I think that's a good placeholder.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's good. That'll do.
So this is playing on loop at the moment, so we want to seconds before activation. Turn auto activate off, and then in here we want to get the particle system and then tell it to activate. So destroy and activate that particle system. So now get some of these aliens to come in. Okay. Gonna hit the button. Looks like they applied everywhere and not where we wanted them to. Why are they applying over there? I have no idea why that's happening. Oh, because it must be overlapping with the other ones. So what I've done is that this fan here has a box as well, and they're hitting this box before they're hitting our top box here, because all of the fans will do the same thing to kill the aliens. So we'll just have to add in an activate. So on here we'll just chuck in a gate. Or even better, we can just go has effects level and then we can enable it and disable it. So in our variables we'll just go
It's going to be a public variable.
Yep, it'll be a public
We'll just
variable. We'll set it
Tell
to
each fan
interactive.
if it should do a thing.
Exactly. So if you are interactive, then you should do this. But by default, we'll make sure they're not all interactive. But then for this one, our big one in here, we'll set
click the
that
thing.
to interactive. That should help a lot, and we should probably change the size of this box as well, because they're exploding before they even hit it. So in our viewport, we want to get our box. Let's make it a bit smaller and a bit closer. And we'll test it again. Some aliens coming in, and I'm gonna hit it in 3, 2, 1. Oh! I put the box too far away. They just bounced off. Oh, one got hit. And this particle, yeah, here we go. So it's auto playing as well. So we'll have to deactivate it again after, yeah. Or it is a looping particle, so we may need to find something slightly different that doesn't loop. So that's explosion.
If you open that effect, is there a box on loop?
Ooh, space clouds. That's very pretty.
Space.
Oh,
Whoa.
very cool.
Space gap.
Ambient dust, that's too subtle. Ooh, we've got a bullet impact effect. It's a little small, but we can make it bigger.
It updates elements there? Material. Other rocks. You could replace the rock with the dead zubs.
Just move it 90 degrees that way. And let's increase the size to like 4. And let's try it again. That looks exciting. So we've got it activating. We may want it to play though. Or even better, we probably want it to spawn the particle there, because otherwise we'll probably have some issues if multiple aliens hit it. And while I remember, I'm going to move that box down a little bit so they hit better. I think in the full version, Blaine will definitely have some alien chunks coming down.
Oh yeah,
Although I think that may take a little longer.
more than
So spawn actor from class. So I think we want to spawn emitter at location. The location is where we want that one. At location. That's where we want it. We want the scale to be 4 because that seemed to be the right size. And we want it to be, it was bullet impact large 01.
Also, I made the most terrifying sound for when Zubs die, and I've called it the Zubby Zubby Die Die. So I'm just going to send that through to you.
Fantastic.
activate isn't connected.
I hope
That's
it doesn't
fine.
blow the speakers.
Oh, cool.
I am now downloading a copy of Zubby Zubby Die Die. Let's give it an open.
It's the placeholder name, not professional.
Oh dear.
It's terrifying. I'm really sorry.
Okay. So with that, let's bring Dan's audio straight into the engine. Where do you keep it, Dan?
Chuck it in Zaradon,
Audio effects?
and then effects, yeah.
Okay.
And aliens, yes.
Oh, and in aliens. Okay. Alien folder. Here we go. And we can play it in engine.
It's pretty brutal, I'm so sorry.
So, I think
It's like
sounds
the fan
fantastic.
is screaming in pain. Anyway.
So,
Makes sense.
I think that'll work perfectly as soon as we get we'll apply it straight on that
the-
spin faster. So with all these things, we've got stop. When it happens, we stop it spinning slowly. We start it spinning fast. I should comment this. This launches our aliens. Launch alien. And now we want a new one that is play sound. And
Is this when the aliens hit? Okay. Just the thing itself.
So this is like a mix of all of the audio, isn't it, Dan? You've got like a fan startup spinning, and then it like hit stuff as well?
It kind of spools up. Yeah, it has like a slow start, but not too slow. And then I'm imagining that William hit the fan within half a second. I made it kind of short.
Yep. So
Then the other fan spinning sounds you saw in there were just background ones you can loop
uh-huh.
if you wish. But that's for later on. We can just not super excited. But,
So,
I mean, they're all placeholder.
For now, yeah.
placeholder for now. Okay, so I've got the sound effect. We've got the emitter now. We'll try a few things at once. Let's see how this goes.
They look so fast running.
Just speeding it up a bit to get them in the right location. Alright, we have our first 2 contestants. Let's see how this goes.
Come on down.
It worked, but I think everything's a little quiet. We want more of everything, I think. Let's change this scale up. I think it needs to be much bigger. I think we need like 20. I think we need this volume to be like 3 triple. That should work well. Okay, here we go. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Oh. How come we weren't doing fan pumps this whole time? Oh my god.
There might be some people that aren't fans of it.
Or some that are actually big, heavy metal fans as well.
Awesome.
Terrible.
So yeah, I think we've got that pretty much working in game now.
Nice.
Yay.
So
Excellent.
thank you very much for joining us while we're doing some of our development. Hopefully this has given you a bit of an insight to how we make features for our upcoming game Moon Corp Tower Defense. Please let us know what you think about it, and it is available on Steam to wishlist now, and yeah, we hope to hear from you. Thanks very much.